Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Souls44. Welcome back to another episode of MC Eternal 2. And this is not a completed mod pack. I wanted to throw that out there, you guys. It's still under development. They didn't implement a lot of things, and they're still working on a lot of things. So bear in mind, there's going to be some changes. I'm fine with that because I'm not making anything crazy stable at the moment that's going to break that I can think of. Especially when it comes to applied energistics. I ain't got that going. But today's going to be covering updated something to my left here, behind me, and a little bit of something over that way. And so we're going to be covering a Tinker Smeltery spawner system that I put together. I'm proud of it. I think it works pretty well. It has some issues, but it's going to alleviate any kind of iron issues I ever have. That I know for sure it's going to do because I've let it run and to try it out. And two, we're gonna look at Goety. I'm gonna make the next video will probably be just Goety all the way through. Um, Geoty, Geoty. I don't know how you say it. Anyway, it's magic, man. It's witchery and Thaumcraft kind of. And I don't know a lot about it, but I figured I'd work on it. And I did want to make sure that today I covered something that was very important, and that is ritual setup. I've reviewed 35 videos. Yeah, I took the time to, watch 35 videos. None of them have covered what I've covered, so stick around. I'm going to show you what it is that they messed up on, I think. And it's something that's essential, and I don't know why it's not covered in the book. And it's something that I actually had to use AI and Reddits and GitHubs, and I put together a way of explaining something that might help fix this mod, because this is a really good mod. It's got a lot of cool stuff, and I can't wait to try it out, and I'm going to get into it. Oh, yeah, and look at that thing. Isn't that a monstrosity? Holy cow. I even got enough of those oozing raws there with acid coming out. Anyway, let's just cover real quick. Oh, yeah, and we're going to cover cloud storage. Let's cover cloud storage first, because it's loud, and I want to get it out of the way. Okay, so the cloud storage mod also has some failings when it comes to explaining to you exactly what's going to happen. So you just need to have a real quick video. I'll show it to you real quick. All right, so when you're doing cloud storage, it's really all about the balloons. There's a very large amount of things that could be done with this mod that I probably am not doing, so that's fine. But it's basically making a storage system that's up in literally the clouds. And it's interesting because it's like ender chests, really. It really is ender chests. It's ender chests with colored balloon. The problem that I have, or had, mind you, is getting balloon scraps. These little suckers right here, these balloon pieces. Because without a very large amount of these, you're not going to really get a full good use of this mod. And you're going to need the balloon stand. Now, I found the balloon stand next in a tower or a little hut, and it's supposed to have a trader by it. The trader was trading something else. He wasn't even a cloud guy. I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently this is his workstation. If I get too close, it's going to turn on so you guys can hear it. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, so you see before me 3 different color balloons: a white balloon, a red balloon, and a weird greenish gold colored balloon. All right. The first thing you gotta do is collect yourself some balloon scraps to make you some balloons, right? And you gotta find a ton of clouds. Well, not a ton, but you gotta find enough clouds. Now, clouds come from this guy right here, but if you're lucky, and I was really lucky, I just flew really far, really high up in the air, and just kept on going. And it turns out there's these floating balloons in the sky. They're like a helium. They look like a little helium balloon, and they're made of a lot of different materials. Well, one of the materials is clouds, and the other material and it also has a spawner in it. And yes, I nabbed the spawner with the cardboard box. So I now have balloons that attack you, which is weird. But you can pop them and you get balloon scraps. So there's a way of getting balloon scraps when I need it. I can just put it down under the ground, and that way when it spawns, it can't fly away, because that's what balloons do, right? All right, so first thing I'm going to talk about is this balloon here. This balloon here, but look, you just craft a balloon with 4 scraps and a string. There you go. It's attached to this balloon stand, which has the ability to dye your balloons colors and match them up, right? So it's kind of like an inner chest. There's some forms of inner chest you would use a color dye on the little tabs, and the tabs would be color coded. Well, this kind of does a similar sort of thing. Your basic red balloons are red balloons, and they're going to attach to other red balloons in the cloud storage. But if you want to change colors so that they have different storages for different things, or you're in one spot or another spot, and you need a color that matches, you can do it this way. Basically, you put the balloon that you want to change color in the top, and in the bottom, you put the color that you want, and it becomes that. And then I'll cover what that is. Okay, so that's what that does. Now, the reason why this one is up so high is because it's string. Now, with the textures and the visuals added to this, it kind of makes it look a little off. Like the string is kind of glitchy. But every time you want to make your balloons taller, you just right-click the balloon itself, not the string, the balloon itself with some string, and the string gets taller. I just demonstrated it by doing this because it was cool. I thought it looked interesting. That's all. Second thing you want to do, craft yourself a cloud storage. It's a basic chest. You cannot use sophisticated chests. You cannot use any advanced chests or anything crazy. And if you use a double chest, it'll mess it up, kind of. So just use a single chest at a time. And the reason why I say at a time is for every balloon that you add to your cloud storage, every chest you add to your cloud storage is going to increase the overall size of that color balloon's storage. So, for example, I have down here the red, the white, and that blue balloon. Now, the cloud storage itself is your base chest. It's your access point, right? When you right-click it with the balloon, it will add the balloon to the chest, tagging the balloon with the color of the balloon that you have, that you put in it, right? But it also pops out another balloon. That balloon can then be used to send a regular chest up into the sky. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate. Now, it takes a second, so that's one thing that I didn't realize. So I did this on accident. I have some balloons ready to go. I don't have a ton of everything, but let me show you what I'm talking about here. Regular chests, I made a bunch for making drawers. All right, so I have a white balloon. And as long as you dye the balloons the exact same color, it will match. So you place your chest on the ground. I'm going to swap this balloon out. This is what happens when you swap when you see how you get a balloon that falls. Now I just replaced it with the one in my inventory, but you get another balloon, right? So like that's the same color balloon, so it's not going to change anything. But that's what happens. You get another balloon. Now, regular chests. Gosh, what is going on with my sinuses? Regular chests are going to float up into the sky. Now, that does not immediately add. Yeah, and you're like, holy crap, that's a problem. You're going to have bunches of entities floating up in the sky with your inventories. Nay. Once it gets to above the heights of the clouds and reaches the end of the height of the whatever you set your max height to, it will disappear. I flew way up, and I couldn't find him anymore. But that chest is not added yet. Yeah, it's still going. It's going to disappear. Once it disappears, it's added to the cloud, and then every white cloud chest with a white balloon in it will then be able to access any of the chests in the cloud, right, in the storage system, as if it was all one single chest. So this chest now has all this space. I just adding balloons, and I was like, it's not working. And I couldn't figure it out. I was popping the balloons up in the sky, and the chests will fall if you catch them and pop them before they get out of the stratosphere. But this is all, if you can see I'm scrolling down, this is all storage space, right? That now is up there. Well, actually, that chest is now gone. and it's been added to the storage space, and you can just get more. Now you can sort your inventory, you can search for stuff. There's all kinds of neat little deals here, because this gets kind of big, right? Like it gets kind of large, or it can get kind of large. I didn't mean to. I got it larger than I thought. I just kept on doing it. Like, what's going on? It's not working. And then I waited a little while, and all of a sudden, this chest had a ton of storage. Same thing goes with the red one. And if you notice the red one's smaller, I didn't make as many screw ups with the red one because I thought, well, maybe it has to be the base red color first or something. I don't know. But now, when you break the chest, unfortunately, you're going to lose your balloon. So that kind of stinks. The balloon flies off, you break the balloon, you don't get scraps from it. So that kind of stinks. But all these are now available to me as ender chests. And I do believe, I haven't tested it yet, but I know that you can hopper stuff out of them. But I think you can actually item pipe things in and out of this storage. So you can have ender storage. You can have a chest one place, chest another place, have the same color balloon. Items can go in and out of them. They are ender chests without ender pearls. Awesome, right? That's the balloon mod. That's it, as far as I'm covering. There is a way of getting a little balloon buddy that follows you around. If you have a balloon in your hand and you're not flying, you fall slower. Like I'm just jumping, that you get slow fall. So yeah, if you're really worried about falling really, really far, just pop the balloon in your hand real quick, and it acts kind of like the umbrella does with artifacts, and it will give you a little bit of slow fall, enough that you won't take as much damage if you fall really far. Matter of fact, I'm going to fall really far just to prove it, or just to check it, and introduce this section right here, because that's good for me as far as as far as the blue mod goes. So that's all slow fall. Yep, I didn't take any damage. I'm not going to say that I would have otherwise, because I do have this ring that gives me a little bit of anti-gravity, and I didn't even use the glider or anything, so it's all there, right? You can also get this cotton candy, which I've eaten once. That'll give you added to your hearts. So it's one of the foods also, and I think there's one more thing at balloon. Oops, 2 L's. That's at cloud. Did I spell today? I got one of these music discs also. Oh yeah. There's a propeller hat. The propeller hat is a quest, not a quest. It's a loot item that's inside some of the chests and things. I don't think you can actually make the propeller hat, but it also provides you with some slow fall as well. I mean, it doesn't have crap for armor, but it's there. The cloud blower, I think, is garbage because it uses cloud bottles, these things, and they're not easy to get. I might play around with them a little bit. I don't know. The balloon arrows are supposed to go straight without being affected by gravity, so that you don't have to like aim up, so you can arch your arrows when you're shooting. Novelty. I'm going to say novelty. The static chests, you have to get static cloud blocks. I made one. I haven't used it. I don't really know what the real point is, other than maybe if you're playing on a server with other people, supposedly it can it's like locking it so that it's only you can access it, I guess. I'm guessing. I don't know. Craft your book. The book doesn't really tell you as much. It wastes a balloon scrap and a balloon cloud. A cloud block. Other than that, cloud blocks can be used for landing on. They help you for soft falling. I don't think they're bouncy. I think they're just slow, like you slow down a little. And I don't know what the static cloud block does, but it's not really all that important, I don't think. Again, it's novelty stuff. It's up to you what you do with it. Be creative, have fun. There's the balloon. That's cloud storage. I did not cover one last thing, and that is loot balloons. So I have 2 loot balloons, right? I had 3. I popped one. I didn't know how it worked. So when you add a loot balloon to a cloud chest, it automatically allows you to open the balloon. Okay, so I'm opening the balloon, and inside the balloon are these items. Look at that. I'm full. Hold on. let's just store some of the stuff away till later here. I gotta cover Goety a little bit. I'm not gonna go into Goety all the way. I'm just gonna cover a couple of things that really need to be addressed. So basically, look at that. I even got a green balloon automatically ready-made. Like, thank you for the free balloon. After that, it's just a chest. Okay, it's just a chest. It allows you to search, does that kind of stuff. It's pretty much useless. Now let's check our other loop balloon. I got a loyalty card. All right, so this loop balloon is now empty. This loop balloon, empty as well. So, yeah, let's just let him go. Oh, it gave them back. Well, they're empty. I'll just store them away. I do believe you can use the loop balloons on chests. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't tried that one yet. But it's like a, you know, they're free balloons, and they give you balloon arrows, and I'll just add that to my awesome collection of no arrows at all. And I got another cloud chest. There's my static cloud chest. So that covers, that's it. That covers that. Now, my Tinker Smeltery mob farm. All right. It occurred to me that smelteries do damage to mobs and give you items. Or give you materials. If you notice, inside here right now is liquid soul and molten glass. And I'm telling you, I should have known that. I've known that for years, literally years, and I didn't even think about it. But it didn't occur to me until I came over here and I saw that I had liquid soul in here. And I was like, why? Why do I have liquid soul in here? Well, then I saw a rat carcass up in the top corner, and I realized something had something had died in there. It turns out animals like flies and different animals will go into your smeltery on accident, because if you're a doofus like me and you leave the top open, yeah, they'll die, and then they give you materials. So if you look right here, and you do at Tinkers and controller, right? Right-click on your smeltery controller. If you go to entity melting, you can see all the things that you can get from different entities. Now, some of these are specific, right? Like this Necromancer provides you with arcane essence, which is something I really want to do. I want to get a hold of a Necromancer really bad. The problem is you have to be able to either keep the mob alive and let it keep on getting burnt, melted, or you have to spawn more of them. So, good luck with that. I don't know how you're going to do that, but I'm sure people have figured out ways. I'm already working on an emerald farm in my mind, okay? Because I'm 100% sure that if I get enough an area big enough that's open and wide enough with beds on it, and I grab some villagers, I can breed them and have the babies go into a hole and fall into the smeltery. I know it's pretty bad, but it's you know what? It's funny, but it also, hey man, I want materials. So he gets arcane essence. He gives you blood essence. He gives you cinder essence, which those are awesome. But it doesn't tell you, though, and it's something that I want to make sure everybody understands, is that they also drop their loots. Not player killed necessarily loots, but they do drop their loots. So I'm assuming that the Ancient Knight, if you were able to set up, I don't know, a smeltery in the Nether below a spawner of these guys, it would drop the scrap, the netherite scrap. So that could be a netherite farm. I'm going to look into that when I get to the nether. This Arch Evoker is not a regular evoker. It gives you evocation. The Pyromancer gives you fire essence. And this priest, who looks like a villager with a nice little suit on, I think he looks cool as hell. A little dapper dude, gives you holy essence. Then you get into your strange one, which is your ice. And then these guys from Alex's Caves are the key to making some really good stuff. I don't have any idea how to get to Alex's Caves yet, but I'm going to use the compass really soon to figure that out. As soon as I get this Goety thing working. Look at this one, gives you molten iron. This one gives you acid. And this one gives you molten scarlet neodymium. See, like, they give you all kinds of cool stuff. Apothecarus, who looks like just a regular piglin, gives you nature essence. And he gives you rare ink, which that's actually pretty cool. But, I mean, it's a dead king. Bees. That's right. Bees give you honey. And this is Blazing Blood. This is the key to running this mod at the higher levels, or at least getting into the next stage, is a hotter material. It's not the hottest. I think there's like a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, look at that. Molten, whatever, overheated lava. I don't know what overheated lava is. That might be the next step. I don't know. Creepers give you molten glass. So I had a creeper spawn inside my spawner, so that kind of stuff. Drown. Drown spawners are a thing. So I will be collecting a drown to add to my mob farm. And they give you molten copper. I can't get an enderman to sit still long enough, but an endermite can give you molten ender. I unfortunately, or actually fortunately, already have a enderman inside the Drigme farm, so I don't need molten ender like this. I can just melt down ender pearls. But then your different slimes give you the slime that corresponds. A frog gives you potions of leaping, elder guardian, seer stone, that's kind of weird, but okay. Now this is where it gets weird, or I like it. The pillager, the witch, the vindicator, all of them drop emerald. Iron golem obviously gives you molten iron. And I'm assuming that if he dies, it also drops a poppy. Now, those items are going to go into the inventory, and I'll show you about that in a second. Magma cubes, I want to tell you guys specifically. That magma cube that I created a few of them just to test it out. In the Drigme farm, they do not provide you, if you create them the way I did, they don't create magma creams. I even tried enlarging one. I tried shrinking stuff. I did all kinds of different stuff to it. It didn't work. You get meat soup from all these different animals. So you could get meat soup. It's good for making alloys of different kinds. And it's also, it's a meat soup. You can eat it. Your glow squids and whatnot, they provide you potions of night vision. That's interesting. And bats and glow squid. Your phantom gives you potions of slow falling. And your piglin gives you gold. So if you have a way of getting a piglin farm from the nether, or in the nether maybe, you get your gold. 4 axolotls give you potions of regeneration, along with gas. Shulkers give you potions of leaping. Silverfish, they also give you seer stone. And I know infested stone, there is a way of making infested stone with create. You use a hell bell or one of those things, or I think it's stone with a fan blowing over a soul campfire, and maybe something else. Maybe a kill your bell. I can't remember. Anyway, you can get infested stone, which can then be broken, and these guys will come out, and you could actually make a seer stone farm of some kind pretty easy. Now, this is the one that got me good. If you notice, it's all skeletons, right? Any one of these are considered a skeleton. All of them. There's a whole list of them. I had a wither skeleton skull need. Turns out I can't get wither skeleton skull as easy as I thought in the Drigme farm. Instead, it's giving me coal. But I'm not going to turn down free coal, right? But it gives you milk. I guess they're saying bones turn into milk when they're eaten. I don't know. I guess that's it, right? It gives you milk. Well, the milk has 2 purposes that I found so far, other than drinking it. You can make cheeses of 2 different kinds, and then some others. Actually, a lot of different kinds. There's a bunch of cheese in this mod, right? Because of rats. If you put this milk inside of a basin from the Tinker Smeltery out, it will turn into cheese after a 300-second cooldown per block. And then that cheese can be then used for other things, but it's super slow, and you get a lot of milk real quick. If you have strong enough wither skeletons, you have a strong enough skeletons, you get a lot of milk. So you got to deal with the milk. I've been working with that, and I'm trying to figure that one out. There's your different slimes. You can get water from a snow golem. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can. Spiders give you venom, and that's another item that's useful. And you get potions of strength from your various... Yeah. You get the idea by now. I've covered this enough, right? Like, just go through and figure out what entities that is that you want. There's my emeralds. You saw it. Villagers. Also, wandering traders. This is the one that I focused on, and that was because it gives me iron from a zombie. I think this is key right here to this farm. And then your blaze bloods. And then liquid soul comes from a very large 99 plus, including this long list, give you liquid soul, which doesn't have a whole lot of uses that I know of. Right? That's how I ended up with this right here. So, without further ado, this is basically just a big mob farm up here. Well, it's not even that big. It's pretty small, but it's big enough. And I'll break inside so you guys can see it. And then the top of this is open so that they can fall in. I have some lights so I can turn it off. There it is. It's a skeleton spawner because I probably should pull that out so I don't have to deal with the cheese making process, but I'm leaving it in there because it also gives me some coal too. You got your zombie spawner, zombie spawner, zombie spawner, zombie spawner. So there's four out of 5 spawners in here. I just placed a block underneath, added those on there. With the flight ability, it's pretty much not a problem. I added trapdoors to the edges so that they're dumb and they walk off the edge. They think that they can walk right here, but they really can't, and they trip and fall. Now, some of them do okay, I'm not gonna lie, they do gather around here. This is probably a little big, but I was worried that they would spawn outside the area. So far, I haven't had any of them spawn outside of this cube. And yes, this only works if you're within range of the spawners. So it's an AFK right now. But you can get a spawner agitator from Pneumaticraft, which I'm gonna have to do, and it will allow you to have these work even when you're not around. So that's the end of my need for iron ever again, as far as mining goes, as far as I'm concerned, because it works pretty well. So I'm gonna turn it on, and it immediately goes off because I've been charging it by standing by it and it's been waiting. Right? Now, I do want to preface something else. Those spawners that I got from the Adventure Tower don't spawn just regular zombies and regular wither skeletons. They spawn higher level ones that have higher health, and also that they can be summoned at random with fire resistance. And if they have fire resistance 3, they just stand inside the smeltery. So there is some kinks to it, okay? So it's not like a perfectly AFK, don't worry about it kind of spawner. Also, it spawns regular mobs in there too. I think I need to do carpet? Something, because I got creepers that spawn in there. I've had a couple spiders. Oh, look, there's one right there. He has fire resistance on him, and he is not going to take damage. So I will have to turn it off. All you have to do is come here to the middle. Oh, there's 2 of them in there. They have fire resistance because they're just spawned with armor on. That's okay. Oh yeah, I'm inside the actual... You also take damage. Now you notice they dropped a bunch of drops and the drops went away. I'll show you the system I made so far. It works so far. All right, so this is a seared chute. I just got a regular hopper here, and every item that goes inside this thing, including rats, will just pull out and go into inside the drawer controller, and then it's attached to all these drawers. Oh, look at that. I got a bundle. Oh yeah, you got to open the... It thinks you're trying to pick up the bag with the thing. So that's basically what that is. No filters on it, nothing like that. Now you notice there's some cheese, and look at all this iron. There's 4 different types of bones in here. One is the icy bone or the frozen bone because I did have a stray spawner in there because I thought that would be cool. Don't do that. Well, I mean, you can, but it's just basically tons of milk, right? And you get frozen bones and you get arrows, a lot of arrows. Yeah, you can deal with it how you want. I will be probably putting the void upgrades on these when it starts to get close to being full. Obviously, it's not even anywhere close. That was from a creeper. I have no idea where the ash came from, but something died and left ashes in there. And you get tons of this rotten flesh, which is going to be used in the cave. I'll show you that in a second. Now, draining it out. That's the biggest issue I've had, and I'm still working it on. I'm working on it. Okay, I'm working on it because there's ways of draining stuff out. Lots of different ways of getting stuff out of this thing. I'm going to show you 2 ways that I have it set up for. Right now, it's set up for iron into a casting basin and nuggets. And the nuggets is because if you end up with any odd number, it will just fill that up and it'll go into the slave controller. And there's hoppers. And if you notice, I have cauldrons here. The cauldrons are for making cheese. All right. So I'm going to cover cheese real quick because that's the big pain in the butt. It fills this thing up pretty quick. You notice that there's regular milk in here. This is a servo onto a fluid duct. Now you can set the servos to allow only certain fluids to come out. And I could not get it. I don't know why, but it won't work with iron for some reason. I couldn't get it to pump iron out, but it pumps the milk out no problem. So I'm assuming it has something to do with the fluid ducts not being able to take the temperature, maybe, or something to that effect. I don't know. I'll work that out. If anything, at the end of the day, I'm going to get Ender IO going, and Ender IO has conduits that can handle fluids, and I'm pretty sure it'll work just fine. Then I just use some hoppers for right now. It works, right? So when they dry, it automatically hoppers into the controller. So let me show you the issue that you might run across. Because this has liquid soul in there, at the bottom of it, that's what's coming out, right? Like, so that's the layer. If I switch this to milk, you notice the milk just disappears all like almost right away. And because it fills up. And in this case, for some reason, I don't know, and it's good, the milk went here first, right? I don't know if it like knows which one. Normally you would think it would spread it out evenly, but that cheese is going to be taking forever. Forever. It does not keep up with the spawn rates. That's why I took the stray out. The milk will still spawn from it getting dark, and then creatures, yeah, various creatures will get weird stuff, and eventually I'll have to go in there and clear it out, etc. But it works pretty good. If nothing else, I know this is wrong and it's breaking, but the mob cap can be reached by filling this thing full of creatures and basically stop spawns in your area. Yep. Because if it fills up with creatures, there won't be enough room in the mob cap, and it'll just stop them from spawning. Yeah, even if these guys, because these guys count too. Now, I do have a trick I want to try with this poor guy right here. So, he's immortal, right? Oh no, he can die. But every time you place one of these, a new one of him spawns. You get where I'm going, right? You place it, break it, place it, break it. He falls inside the smeltery. He turns into an emerald farm. I saw a guy on Reddit, and I was just blown away. I didn't even think about it, but, you know, smart. I also thought about putting one in the ground and luring these guys into it and let them burn. I don't know what they give you. They might not give you anything. But the drops that they give you will be available, right? Because like this will give you some of the drops. Look at that. That's still only stage 2 of the cheese. It's got 3 or 4 stages. Now, if you have extra milk, you can bucket milk out of here by having it set for the bottom one. If you right click, it'll fill a bucket full of milk. You can then put it inside a regular basin, which will give you a different type of cheese from Rat Mod. This cheese right here, you'll get this block of cheese, which then can be turned into this type of cheese. And it uses it to tame rats, which it didn't work for me. I don't know why it didn't, but he didn't eat it. He would. Now those cheese that come out of the Tinker Smeltery are actually this cheese, I think. Let me take a look. Cheese block. Well, no, they're from Tinkers, but they can be made into ingots, and it does the same thing as milk. So that's pretty cool. And you get 4 of them per block. That's not bad. Now that's as far as I know, that's pretty much the uses. Obviously, you can digest it. You can burn it for fuel, for energy. So yeah, that's how you get the cheese for the rat mod, is from basins. And then you can use them to make your different, like even marbled cheese and a rat decoration, rat whistle, command staff. So rats is now on the table. I can now use rats. I just have to have the spawner running, and it fills up with milk like you wouldn't believe. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it to iron. Now, once this is empty, I'm going to show you how to clear out your smeltery, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to waste some stuff. All right, so now it's empty. Now there's molten glass from a creeper, and then there's some soul liquid in there. If you break your smeltery controller and replace it, you're back to empty now. So now whenever mobs spawn, I should just be getting the drops. Oh, wow. Dude's got an instrument. Now they can't see me, but that is super cool. I heard a skeleton already. So my wither skeletons, all of them are there. But they eventually fill up, they wander in, they drop. The only thing you gotta worry about is the lava. You gotta make sure the lava stays full. That's why I made sure there was a light to turn it off. Oh yeah, when you break the controller, make sure you reset your switches, because it turns them off. It reforms and it doesn't know that there's a redstone signal. You know it's working when the light turns on and you can hear them burning. Another fireproof zombie. Yeah, so that's how you get your materials. Yep, see, already got milk. You can see it if you look. You can see it forming the different levels. And since the wither skeletons are stronger, you'll get that effect too. Some weird puffy sounds and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, you might run into some creatures with some weird abilities, and that could be a problem. But look, it works. Milk's in there. Nope. No milk. Just a visual. But you're going to need a few basins for milk if you're going to have it. Yeah, there's definitely a visual glitch going on. But yeah, you can see how it's giving me. So I have plenty of iron now. There's my iron setup. All right, so any questions about that, or any tips, hints, comments, complaints, whatever you guys want? I'm not afraid of taking some criticism. This works for me. It's in a bad spot, but it's right here. I figured, what the heck? I'm doing what I gotta do to get what I gotta get, so I can get going, right? I would like for them to drop the sword. That would be cool. So you get the idea. You can pump it into your system however you want, or you can just leave it like I am. You know, the sky's the limit. Now I gotta cover one more thing before I go into Goety. Hopefully I got enough time here. How am I doing on time? We're good on time. Okay. This black death site. All right, so let me tell you what. If you want this black death scythe, which is awesome, it's also really bad at the same time, because when you use it and you kill a creature, it gives plague. Plague is bad. I'm just going to say that. Plague is bad. Plague sucks. I don't like plague. It's not cool. It will mess up your game. Everybody will get infected. You'll die. People will die. All kinds of stuff, right? So unless you're plague immune, I don't recommend. It says summon plague clouds when swung. Yeah, I'll show you that in a minute. But here's the thing. To get that, you have to trade with. I know it's funny. The plague doctor. The plague doctor gives you a book. It's let me show you this so you can see it. Rats. There it is. The plague toad. It costs a lot of emeralds. I think it's like 36 emeralds or something, right? From there, you give it to the plague doctor, and it becomes a beastie angel of death, grim reaper. Okay, and yes, I killed him. And yes, you get more than just the scythe, but that's the main thing that I thought was cool. You get a plague doctor helmet, you get all kinds of stuff. He has a lot of hit points. My recommendation is to, if you got flight, which is what I did, I had flight, so I cheesed him out. I put him in the water, arrowed him for like 99% of his life. And then, matter of fact, did I break my bow? No, I almost used up my whole bow killing the guy. You can also give him all kinds of negative effects and stuff with the bioinjector if you wanted to, I guess. And then I just killed him off using the this deal right here. Yeah, really fast. It was just choo. When this thing is, yeah, that's death. Anyway, he died. I got him this, and this is actually a quest that you can do for artifact collection. Oh yeah, I just got an anvil bottle. It's over here inside the small section here because I don't know, the downfall of Ratlantis. It also gives you a token, or not a full token, it gives you a chunk of the token so that you can get to Ratlantis. What is this? Wow. Ah. So yeah. That's how that works. Let's see what we got. A loyalty card. Which I think I stopped putting in here. I should probably put those back in for when I go traveling again. So hopefully this makes up for my adventuring a little bit the other day. I know I was wandering around and I was working on it. Now, let's talk about the Goety or Goety a little bit. I'm gonna do a full series of this. I think at least 3 videos, probably maybe more of just Goety stuff. Because Goety is not very well explained. So let me explain a little bit. Now, I've read through most of this, and if you notice the progress has still got some stuff that needs to be unlocked, it's because I haven't reached that point yet. The more stuff you do, the more stuff unlocks. You see that there's stuff that's locked in here. You go to the index and you'll see there's probably a bunch. Yeah, look at all this stuff. Right? Now, if it has a check mark on it, it means that I've actually found places. I didn't know that. But yeah, there's like a bunch of places you can discover, and all that stuff is in here. And you can locate them using, I think you can use Ars Nouveau. So let's talk about this ritual. So I want to be able to teleport. Right? Like, that's my main thing. Is I was like, I really hate that I have to use these portals here. They're kind of a pain in the butt to make. And if you screw up, you have to restart. And no. Well, this is the ritual that allows you to teleport. You use these little waystones, which are actually really not hard to make. I mean, it's a map, flint, and a regular bone at minimum, right? And you get these waystones. You have to have an ender pearl, and you have to have a blaze because you have to make a blaze eye or ender eye, right? You do not need these pedestals here or this other ritual deal. The book is very vague on how to set this up, and that's what we're going to cover. If you look right here, you'll see that the ritual is on top of what looks like a spawner. It's actually a cursed cage. Okay, that's not discussed in the book. If you look under rituals in you, and you go to the ritual that you want, teleporting with rituals, if you look, it doesn't show the cursed cage. It doesn't show the cursed cage. And this right here is miscellaneous scrap, except this. JEI, on the other hand, will show you what this waystone can do. Now, this is an enchanting table, right? I didn't know this, and this is what needs to be discussed, and it's not discussed, is that each one of the rituals inside Goety requires you to have different types of Minecraft blocks within. You see this square, this blue line? I don't know, you can barely see it. So you can see the blue line. It's 16 block diameter, I guess. You know, it looks 16 blocks to me, but anyway, everything within inside this blue square box that you can see now, there you go, that you can see, counts towards this ritual, and they can all overlap. Every ritual has a parent ritual above it. Okay? So the teleportation ritual won't work right now because I'm missing a key block. Actually, two things. I have the enchantment table within range. You have to have 16 bookshelves, which I don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have exactly 16 bookshelves. They are with inside that block, this cube. But if you go to, where is it? I want to cover it. We'll go to index. If you go to the rituals, you'll see that you get a lot of like different types of rituals. Each ritual has its own base ritual, like, how to put that? A parent ritual. So the parent ritual for teleportation is just a magic ritual. And now in order to view that, what needs to be around it, you have to go to its base ritual. So let's see. It should be, I'll just type, there we go. So we just type magic. And so cores of magic, these right here, are then changed into different types of cores that can be used with different stabs and such. Now, they are the basis for casting spells. It's very similar to Thaumcraft's one version of Thaumcraft. And let me see if they have it on here. So like Magic Bolt, in order for this ritual to work, you have to have, it's a magic. See, it says type magic. When it says type magic, that means that it requires these blocks to be around. That's the parent of this. So right now, I'll show you. I go to use this, it's giving me this yellow block, meaning it's not quite there. It says insufficient block requirements. This curse cage, which is easy to make, all you do is make some. I'll just make it, or show you guys how to make it. JEI is pretty bad, but we're pretty good at this. It's got everything. So you make the totem of souls. You can make any one of the totems of souls work just fine. One holds more than the other. That's all there is to it. Every time you kill a creature, it adds a little bit of soul power to it that allows you to power your rituals. You make your cursed metal ingots. You got to make a lot of them, or 6 of them. It's not a lot, but you got to make some of them, which gives you cursed metal bars. The cursed metal bars makes you make the cursed cage. You place the cursed cage underneath this, and you have some of these however many pedestals you need for whatever ritual you're going to cast. You can cast this ritual. It's set up for magic for the magic parent stuff. When I'm done, it will. It's missing one thing. It needs to have a lectern and a book on it. It doesn't matter what book, as long as it has to be a. So let's see. Do we have a lectern? Do I even spell lectern right? Oh no. So regular lectern. All right, we gotta get some wood. I used up a lot of wood, so we have some dark oak left. Really? All right, we have one more spruce bookshelf. Okay, and then we got to get a book. I don't know if a regular book will go on there or not. It might. Let's make a book and quill just in case. I know that one will go on there. All right, so with inside that square, I now will have, right, that's within, okay, and then the book. So now, what you do is you take your waystone, you say, I want to be able to teleport. Let's teleport here. It's directional, tells you up, and the XYZ coordinates are right there. And now it should have everything that's needed. It might need chains. What is all that? Is that spillage? Uh-oh. I hope that's not spillage. I'll have to check. Nope. Still insufficient blocks required. So it might not be counting the spruce bookshelves because they're from cork, which that stinks. Don't worry, I'm going to cover this again in the next video. I'll cover a full amount. So we're going to need more books. I'm going to need more books, which we have plenty of leather. I don't know if we have plenty of paper, though. There. Next. Just to make sure we have enough. I'm willing to wager that's the situation. Let's still touch these, though. I don't have to rebuild these. Work is awesome. I love the stuff that it does, but because it adds variance, a lot of times mods don't count for it because they're not making a mod to work for other mods. In general, it's mostly them working for, well, modifying vanilla Minecraft. Right? Thank you, Sage, for pointing that out. If you ever watch this. He was a good friend. Still haven't seen him or heard from him in a while, but do miss you. Love you, man. All right. Let's just fill this out. We'll have an extra. All right, let's see if it lets me do it now. Nope. It's still yellow. If it's yellow, you're missing something. So what could I be missing? Oh, let's go to here. Goety and spillage. I haven't done any of those. Made all those. Performing rituals. Curse cage. Must be placed above a curse cage. Unlike other schools of magic, these blocks do not need to be arranged in a certain order. Like they could be put anywhere as long as they're within. So like these ritual pedestals should not have to be right next to it, but I'm so used to having them in this small area. I realize that I'm a minimalist when it comes to stuff. You guys are never going to see me build like 75 wheels and of crushing and stuff. I don't think that's going to be a thing for me to do. I just don't see a point in trying to run my game for that. Shift right click in a dark altar with an empty hand will show the range of effect. That's that blue box. Must fill the pedestals first before the required placing the item on the deal. So that makes sense. So yeah, you have to have the items on there first, and then you can perform the ritual. Teleporting with rituals. This is all it gives you, and it says type magic. So I have to have all the stuff needed for magic ritual. All right. It says required 16 bookshelves, enchanted / enchanted. 1 enchanting table, 1 lectern with book. Surround the altar with large quantities of books will help create certain magical items. So, am I telling you guys the wrong thing? It should count that, but let's just check and see if it's not. I kind of like it being able to have my own enchanting area. I'm using my Silk Touch pickaxe because I'm not breaking my... Oh, I have spillage. Oh, crap. I am not using nearly enough source. Or something is wrong with my system up top and it's dropping stuff on the ground somehow. It must be that it filled up. I'll clear that up off camera, guys. I know that it's an issue now. Really, I have no idea how, but I'll figure out why. This should count it. According to the ritual rules. All right. It shows 4 pedestals, a lectern with a book. I just want to make sure I'm doing this somewhat like it says. Oh, well. Let's go ahead and add these to it, too. Might as well. Kind of ruins my enchanting table, though. That's what I was kind of not wanting to do, but where did it go? Oh, I got 2 of them, so that's okay. And a lectern on the other side with the book. Right? So that sets up magic, according to this. Maybe. Let's give it a shot. Yep, there we go. Not enough soul energy. What do you mean? I'll get pop off. Where'd my soul guy go? Oh, it reset. Oh, there it did pop off. All right. Why did it take? Wow, I guess it takes up a lot more than. Oh, it's 10 seconds at 10. Yeah. So hold on. Let me show you that, and then That's gonna be it for the day. Okay. Um. So if you have an animation ritual, this is the setup that you need for the animation ritual. It shows you in the book, and it looks like it has to be around it exactly like it shows. So all animation rituals can converge with each other, so you'll have a different setup for each one. I have it bookmarked right here. All right, so its soul cost is 10. I was off by 1 point. So it's 10 for 10 seconds, so that's 100. My bigger soul gem, or whatever you want to call it thing, so the totem, has 8,150 in it, so not a problem. Now we gotta choose a location. And let's be goofy and do right here. Now I can go anywhere in the world. But it ate my doggone pearl in the Ender Eye. As I get better with this mod, I'm going to show you guys more stuff. I think it's going to be really helpful. You can do a spawner with it. Like, I'm at 306 pearls now. Not bad, right? Piggy farm, go, go, go. So we're going to place these. And then go. Oh, no, I used the wrong one. Well, it teleported me. You get the idea, right? Okay, it did teleport me. So, no, it does not get you back home. But let's say you find a really cool place. You get you a waystone. And now we've got it bound over there. So we don't have any mistakes this time. All right, we should be good. First successful teleportation was kind of that one, but all right, we have enough solar energy. It has 8,050 if you look at it, which is plenty. You gotta wait 10 seconds. Boom, teleported me to where I wanted to go. So now you got the teleportation ritual down. Huge, huge thing for me in this pack. The book. There, now it's gone. I just shift right clicked and it stopped that little square, so I don't have to look at it anymore. This setup right here is not described very well. So at least maybe now I can kind of like say, all right, this is how you do it for magic spells. So all the magic, all the parent class magic rituals, anything that says magic on it will use this setup. So you can put all the pedestals around it. And I'm pretty sure you can move the pedestals around. I don't know why you have to have this specific setup here, but they overlap basically. So you don't have to like make a ton of these deals. I'm going to make one for each school of focus. All right, so one more thing before I go. One last thing. And that is I want to see if you can name the waystones because that'll be very helpful. You can't. So you go Slime Island. And now if I go to the Slime Island, now I permanently have a waystone that's called Slime Island. I put that in my backpack and I don't have to worry about getting there if I this is just a hypothetical, right? So like I want to take it with me. I go somewhere cool. No more getting, oh, where the heck was that at? I can't find it anymore. And no more building two of these with two mana jars, so two source jars, just so that I can get back there, right? Now, true, you have to take a bunch of empty ones with you, but I mean, let's face it, it's completely worth it. I really wish I would have done that with this beehive because now I'm gonna have to fly through the bubble zone and find the queen again because I'm definitely gonna go back there and get more stuff from the queen. She has some really good effects I want to go do. All right, guys, I hope this was an informational video. If nothing else, I know it definitely covered some of the work that I did. That thing was not too hard to make. Just getting the different ins and outs going and using the last bit. I had to make a bunch of compressed iron by blowing it up with some TNT and different stuff, but it was worth it. I have plenty of iron now. Actually plenty of pretty much anything I need when it comes to the smeltery for beginner stuff. So we're making progress. I did make another meat creature, whatever you want to call them, living little cube guys. And I fed it a very large amount of evil wrong items. So look, I even got, yeah, I've got plenty of blocks to play with. It does like to try to block your path inside, but you just break those blocks, carry on. All right, thanks for stopping by, guys. You know, love you, miss you. Take care.